Toastmasters. Mr. Toastmaster, my great friends, Toastmasters, and honored guests, my speech is the true history of Toastmasters. Now, I'm sure you all heard 1924 in a basement of a YMCA somewhere in California. I think that's what they want you to believe. I think it really truly started way, way, way back. I think it started with our dear friend, the caveman. And I have proof. If you think about it, the dawn of creation, they started fire. Starting a Toastmasters club isn't that much more difficult than that. And most likely, it was probably a dozen or so that gathered. Maybe the first one was probably the Sergeant of Arms. Probably a Neanderthal, because they were very organized at the time. Toastmasters, you know, with the caveman, many people said that I think they got assistance. There's theories out there that there was an ancient alien civilization that came down and landed and dropped off a gavel and a competent communicator and took off. They deserve all the credit. Now, if you can imagine the beginning of a Toastmaster meeting in the dawn of history, the first speech was probably an icebreaker about the Ice Age. There really wasn't much more to talk about. The word of the day was probably dinosaur. They probably used that word over and over again. Matter of fact, the grammarian had an easy job. What? Primitive language, maybe 24 words at the most. The aw counter was most likely an ugh counter. Ughs and grunts are probably all they counted. There's probably a lot of them. Now the timer, I mean, heck, the timer, all they gave the timer was a sundial. Could you imagine 5 to 7 minutes with one of those? You could forget about nighttime meetings. It's a sundial. Now, sometimes these meetings will get a little out of hand. You know, the person who lost tabletopics will probably get clubbed to death. Very effective teaching method for those who are remaining. And science, and I know science has proof about this because they've done research and they said the human vocal cords evolved to the point about 2 million years ago where there was effective speech. The problem was it took another 1 million years for effective listening. A lot of speaking, not much listening. Kind of like my family. Fast forward, as time would evolve, these Toastmaster clubs would begin to migrate to continent, and soon they would fill every globe. And we also have further proof because there was great speakers out there. There are great leaders out there. Where the heck would they have come from? Well, take Moses, for instance. Moses was a great speaker, also a great leader. He most likely started his own Toastmasters club. He probably called it the Red Sea Toastmasters. Half the people sitting on one side, half the people sitting on the other. Imagine giving an evaluation for a speech like his. Moses, dude, that speech, the 10 Commandments, awesome. That part about the burning bush, oh my God, oh my God. And you know, the only thing I could probably fault you on, aside from those heavy stone tablet notes that you were holding, the only thing I could probably fault you on is, you know, the eye contact. You're only looking at one side of the room. A message like that is worthy of us all. Keep practicing, Moses. A speech like that will go down in history. You know, that's history. And truly, history is a concern, whether we get it accurate or not. But does it really matter? I mean, here we are in modern times. We have very effective communication. We have a very well-organized system built on 2 tracks: leadership, communication. But what I'm really speaking to you about today is a very, very serious matter. This is going to affect communication worldwide. This phenomenon that is evolving within the human species is going to shock and awe every single Toastmaster club throughout the world. And folks, it's telepathy. It's just thought now. Oh sure, you could do the hand gestures, you could do the eye contact, the rest of it's just thought. years, we'll be there. So I figured, hey, it is a problem, but I'm a solution-minded individual. So I decided, why not create a new club? Why not create a club called the Telepathic Toastmasters? Folks, you can join one of these clubs. You could be anywhere, at any time, doing anything, and just tune into the rest of your club members and have a meeting. Imagine that. It's like mind Skype. You could be at a restaurant with your significant other, and you could be in a meeting. Honey, are you listening to me at all? I'm sorry, but I'm in the middle of a Toastmaster meeting. I'm actually doing table topics. I'm winning. It's a little bit complicated. You probably also want to tune in to each member prior to starting the meeting. Because if you get a thought transmission, and that thought transmission is, oh God, well, they might be at church, but they might not be. We will work the bugs out, but the future of Toastmasters is telepathic Toastmasters. That being said, in summary, well, history is in the past, and there truly is nothing we can do about that. And the future is just all speculation, so why worry about that either? Right now, we are in that powerful moment called now. And in this powerful moment called now, we can use our imagination. We can create any story. We can have a big fat lie and call it the truth. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.